Hey Ben, thanks for coming to share your story about the progress you've made in your business working with BGB. Look, folks, I'm here with Ben Williams from Ben Williams Photography, one of my favorite people to work with. We've been working with together for about a year. Ben, would you say?
Yep, about that.
Yep. He's made tremendous progress in his business from being a single operator photographer to now having a real business. And I'm excited for Ben to share his story. So Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, so my name is Ben, and I have been a photographer for about somewhere between 10 to 15 years. And I photograph commercial and portraits and a lot of photos and videos to help businesses grow. And yeah, over the last say 12 months, I've been working with Stephen BGB, and been getting this process of getting this business of mine into a proper business.
Excellent. Excellent. So if you think back to before we started, what were some of the challenges you were having at the time? Tell us some of those.
So challenges, main thing would be the amount of time that I was putting into the business. So as in actually working as a photographer, which is great because I do love photographing, and that's I really enjoy that.
And you're very good at it.
Thank you. But but the fact is that like it's very very difficult when you are spending every day photographing. You're shooting. You're going from say might do a shoot a day, or maybe sometimes a couple of shoots a day, and then you have to do the editing part of it, and the emails, the whole process of the whole thing from start to finish. And it's very the biggest thing that I found was like it's just so much work for one person to be doing everything. So I was finding I was working huge days, 16 hours sometimes, and just it's very exhausting, and it's very stressful. And um and that was the biggest challenges that I was having, was the amount of time that I was actually physically doing the manual work.
So yeah, you have that classic solopreneur's problem. Clearly very good at your craft. You're in demand, but it's just filling all your time. And then I remember us talking back then, and it was like, so when do you get to do marketing? When do you get to do sales? Oh, when it dies down a bit, I get some time there. Then the customers come back on, and then I'm busy again. So on this kind of seesaw.
Yep.
So if your problems were still there and nothing changed, how would that have impacted your business if they were still there now?
Yeah, so I guess if I was to still have stayed at the same sort of mindset as I was before, it was so you end up working more and more every single day, and it's great that it's successful. But then if it was to have kept going the same way, you end up either burning out
Yeah.
because you can't physically do any more work, and it's taking things away from your life which you should be doing, and it's super stressful. That's I think the main thing is the stress and the amount of work that you're actually putting into this. And then even things when it comes to like emails, right? You end up getting behind on your emails, and then on one hand it's just an email, it's just a bunch of emails, but on the other hand that actually adds super like a huge amount of stress, because
Way
you're like,
time.
yeah, we get like little tiny things just keep weighing like on your shoulders. And then if it was to have kept going the same way, it would have just I think I would have just got completely burnt out, and just not wanted to do what I actually want to do, is which is being a part of the business and running the business.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So yeah, good thing we got started working on that. So just tell us if you can think about maybe the let's go for the top three strategies that you got out of our program that you've put into your business. What
Yep.
are they?
I reckon the top three strategy probably be taking like a step back and looking at the whole business as a okay, now this is a business. It's not just me as a photographer. I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
part of it, but it's also taking a step back and saying, okay, well, let's look at this as if it was a proper company. But if it was a company that had a bit of a structure, and it was nicely constructed that you could then sort of say, well, this is the process that say clients go through. This is the process that the photos and videos get created. If you take a step back, and then you can sort of look at it and go, well, these parts could be better. These parts could be better, and we could maybe assess certain things. Why are we spending so much time on this? Why are we maybe get more people in? Maybe sort of turn it into an actual process where things run smoother, and everyone's happy, from the photographers to the clients, and I'm happier as well. That would be the main thing, is the actual structure itself.
What are some specific strategies that you've taken from the program and put into your own business?
So one of the strategies that I used from BGB was C&Es, which is critical non-essentials.
Nice.
And pretty much what that is, it's something that's it's critical to how they feel about the process of working with you, but it's not critical to the service of what they receive. So an example that I've been using is, after a photo shoot, we might do portraits of a company, and branding photos, portraits, action shots, making the company kind of just look cool. And then after the shoot, what I would do is I would send through, like, have literally a movie poster made up from them. And it's all that it is. It's just a bit of fun, but you have this awesome movie poster with people's faces, the staff faces, and they're just doing something cool out of the photos that have been taken, and have that physically made from a poster company.
Yeah.
And so I've done that for one client recently, and they've been so happy. And it's just something that's like, it hasn't changed the process of the photos. The photos are exactly the same, but the fact that they got this physical poster, this big poster, and they were super happy. They texted me and they were like super happy, and they're like, yeah, it was really cool.
Okay, so you've taken something which for you would be pretty simple, taking some images, done this for them out of the blue, using critical non-essentials, and they're super happy. What has using critical non-essentials done for the rate of referral for you? Has it increased it, decreased it?
Yeah. So referrals have been very good from C&Es, because
okay, excellent.
Because they've just kind of increased the hype and the excitement about after the shoot.
I know that we did a lot of work together, Ben, on your sales process. How has that benefited the business? Getting that right, improving that.
Yeah, actually, that's been one of the biggest things is the sales process. Just assessing the sales process and being like, well, how is it? Because I think over the last, say, 10, 15 years, I mean, technically there's been a sales process, but it wasn't a very good one. It was just that, here you go, you're asking about something, then boom, here you go, here's a quote, and then, which sometimes would get a new client and sometimes wouldn't. But I think taking a step back to be able to look at that sales process and go, well, if I was on the other side, if I was the actual potential client, how would I be feeling about dealing with a new company, like in my case, a new photography company? For the older companies where I always do work with it, it's fine, it's easy, they call me, or they email or text or whatever, hey Ben, can you do this day, which is fine. But that's fine. And then you just book them in, and that's okay. But where it comes to the new companies that I haven't dealt with before, this sales process, I think, is one of the most important things. This is so central, because it's like, instead of just having a quote, here you go, have a quote, take it or leave it, next person, have a quote. You can actually have a look at it and then bring them into this. Instead of trying to educate them, you can try to select, well, how can I benefit you the best? Maybe I can't benefit you, maybe you want something that I don't provide, in which case I won't sell you anything, and I will maybe hopefully point you in the right direction to someone who can. But then also, I think what happens a lot of the time is you can sort of say, well, you know what, I think for you, while you're educating them, I think this specific type of photography would be best for you, or maybe this video, or whatever it is. And then you can actually, you know what, I think with a high degree of confidence, I can sort of say, well, yeah, we can have this shot, and it's going to make your business so much better than if you didn't have that shot.
Yeah, that's really cool, Ben. So you've gone from so using our sales process structure, you've gone from just being a tick and flick, here's a quote, half day or full day, and just hoping that people are going to say yes, So now you're actually diving into what the customers need and offering a solution. What is that? What's been some of the benefits for you?
Yeah, so benefits definitely. The main two have been obviously the obvious one is a high conversion rate. Um,
Nice. Yep.
and yeah, and which so the conversion rate has gone from just pretty much sending off quotes to random people who ask for it, and then being quite a low conversion because these people might be asking from the same quote purely because they need 10 quotes from different people.
Huh.
But also with the conversion, to be able to, like, part of the sales process is to say, get them on the phone. Okay, say, well, what can we offer? Or what are some things that we can offer that can actually help your business to make your business look better, to grow, to all these. So you could gauge what things could benefit this client more, and then by doing that, you could have a much higher conversion rate, as if you were to just send off a quote and not even speak to them and ask what they were actually wanted, or what could benefit them in the first place. The second one, the other thing is to get people onto bigger packages.
It's paying more. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So if you were to have someone coming and asking for, usually it's, we want someone, we want photos of our five staff members, or five new staff members, or 30 staff members, or whatever it is. And then instead of just saying, cool, here's a quote for that, what you wanted, right? Okay, like let's kind of like, let's have a chat. And it doesn't even have to be a long chat. It can just be like it could be like a 5-minute phone call, and then we can maybe have a look at the website. Like, how do things look, and like what are some certain things that we could actually make heaps better. And then you may even come out with the conclusion that, like, yeah, maybe you want that original thing that you asked for, which is great. We can do that. Or maybe you want something that could benefit heaps more than that. Maybe it's not the portraits that you need. Maybe it's some short form video. Maybe it's some more of the branding shots. And by sort of getting them into that process to say, all right, well, what can benefit you the most? Because we've done this so many times, we have a good idea of what can work best for companies to get them to look the best, without just assuming there's going to be that initial thing that they'd asked for.
Fantastic. So you've gone from order taker, just accepting what they ask for, to providing a solution, and they're saying yes more often. That's really well done, Ben. That's really cool to hear. So how has your business changed over the time we've been working together? What's it like now?
It's really good, actually. Hired my first staff member a couple months ago, and that's been amazing, because that's taken some weight off my shoulders of things that have to be done every single day. It's the ability to sort of let us do certain things, like let's work on little extra things that can just make the client happier, right?
You got some space to do some leverage work. And
yeah.
What has this meant for you personally, this transformation?
Personally, it's been really good, because it allows more time with family, more time working on more constructive sides of the business, to look at it from a top down and say, well, how can it be improved? So I think business has improved a lot, which means that clients are happier. Yeah, overall, just looking at the business as a whole, just to take certain things off your shoulders, to make it a more streamlined process.
Nice. And it's great that you said it's giving you more time with your family. How do you think your identity has changed?
I think maybe looking at yourself as more of a business owner, as opposed to a, like, the real technician who does the stuff, who does the manual labor. Yeah, so that's been one thing. It's an exciting feeling too, because I feel like that kind of, if you do finally get to a point where you can sort of say, you know what, I mean, like, well, first of all, I'm not going to stop taking photos. I'm going to be taking photos forever, because I love doing that.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that I have to be taking photos, every single photo, every single day, every single piece of editing. But once you kind of come to the conclusion, go, well, you know what, let's take a step back and look at the as yourself as a business owner. Then you can say, well, you can plan things better. You can say, well, you're in more of control. You've got this business that like is a great business, and it's moving in a direction. But if you're the owner of the business, you have a say in what direction you're going. Whereas if if you were to just doing the opposite and you're just working in it, you could be anywhere, which might be good, might be. But I think just taking a step back and being a business owner is a great feeling.
Yeah, I remember clearly when, and I've worked with a lot of creatives. I remember clearly when we first met, your identity was I am a photographer.
Mm.
And throughout this whole conversation, Ben, you've called it the business. You've actually got this level of detachment, and as we say, you want the business to give you life, not be your life. Look, Ben, I want to thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's been amazing to see your journey of transformation, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the empire that you end up building.
Amazing. Thank you, Stephen. My pleasure.
Thank you.